now, Canada does not have a registry. What we're depending on is the possibility of somebody getting around to signing their donor card. And then once they do sign that donor card, it might not be found in their wallet, and they might not be available if they pass away. But then we got to go through another hurdle. The hospital officials have to approach the family to make the final decision. And it's very difficult at that time for the family to say yes, because they're in a very irrational state of mind, and they're very emotional, very stressed, and most of the time they can't say yes. So what we're trying to do is encourage the government to create what we're calling a precious consent registry, where everybody could be registered as organ donors beforehand, and we don't have to worry about searching for cards and approaching the family to disturb them, and we're already registered. It only makes sense. It's so simple too, and it's so simple. We're trying to get this message to your Premier and to the Prime Minister, so we can get things done.
I'm completely behind you guys with the whole idea of organ donation and stuff like that, but I'm wondering what arguments you guys would use when talking to or trying to convince people that wouldn't want to do it because of religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs.
You got very good students. I really like these questions. These are very, very, very good questions. Now, first of all, it's very important to mention all the major religions do support this. It's been supported by top religious leaders in the world, including the Pope, who we had a chance to have an audience with. He called organ and tissue donation a genuine act of love and encouraged the whole world to become organ donors. And this goes through on and on the list. Muslims, Jewish religions. There's actually there's an Orthodox Jewish religion that is kind of against it. It's the only one. But most of the, because there's 3 different forms of Jewish religions, and most of the others are in favor of it. But that's a good question, because what we need to do, most people aren't sure of what their religious beliefs is in it. We need to talk about this more. We need to get it, we need people from religious sides and, to talk about it. Let them know that it's okay. Your religion supports it. It's the only way we're going to be able to confront anybody's fears or knowledge about it. So we're depending on you students to do this as well.
I just have a question.
My question is that I'm an organ donor on all of my license and everything else. But if you do go to a foreign country, say, somewhere where they have your organs on a black market, and no, I'm serious. It's very serious. And if something happens to you and you end up in the hospital, and then once you have your information on a card, black strip on the back, that's not available for anybody. In hospitals and stuff. So they see your organ donor, there's a chance that she might not make it, so let's just take all her organs and stuff. So that's just kind of a risky thing, I think. So if you're going to travel, it might not be a good idea to have organ donor on your cards, right?
Excellent question. This is great. Okay, now, first of all, there is black market activities being done as far as retrieving organs. Right now, up to date, the WHO organization, as the World Health Organization, has stated that it's only happening in a few countries, though. And these countries are uncivilized countries. They don't have dominant and civilized governments in their country. So I wouldn't worry about it if you're traveling in the civilized world, you know, like in most European countries and that. Now, if you did end up in a, you know, uncivilized country, I would worry about that. I wouldn't want to boast too much. And now I'm talking about, they did have cases in Afghanistan, you know, where they're doing that. They've had cases in some other, you know, countries that are still developing. They've had some cases. They're very rare. So unless you're thinking of going to those countries, most countries have systems in place where it's done, you know, with the utmost moral and ethic values. And there was a case actually of this American boy who visited Italy about 13 years ago. And his family was driving to get to another town, and they got ambushed. The people that ambushed them thought they were politicians or something, I don't know, but they mistaken them. And they killed the young boy. He was 9 years old. The family made the decision to donate his organs in Italy. And there was 5 Italians that were saved as a result of that. And since that time, Italy has, you know, shot up in their organ donations because of that story. And so, you know, this is a yucky subject. You know, like this is nobody really wants to think about what happens about dying. Like nobody, you know. But here's another way you can look at this. You can look at this as, you know, while we're living here, you know, it's mostly about giving. And, you know, and yourselves, like, what can I do for my fellow human being? I think the Pope had it right when he said it was the ultimate genuine act of love. So becoming an organ donor, what you're showing is that you're unselfish and that you're willing to help your fellow human being. And you can make that decision in this lifetime. And just thinking about that and then making that decision, you know, this is what I think most of us are trying to get after, is the best world possible that we can live in. Here's a way on how we can all make the world better, by becoming organ donors. There's a lady here that
There's a lady right here.
oh, what?
Alexander, we'll be over in a minute.
This question is more for Kris. I was just wondering how far you've walked and how many pairs of sneakers you've gone through.
Well, I started in my hometown, Sarnia, Ontario, on January 8th, and we headed out west and finished our western leg in Vancouver, BC on June 18th. Then we drove all the way to North Sydney, took the ferry, went to Port of Bass, then drove all the way to St. John's, Newfoundland, and about 4 or 5 days ago, I don't know now exactly, we finished Newfoundland, and we're here today. We've gone through 2 pairs of sneakers, and that's about it.
I was just wondering, will you go to prom with me?
Anytime.
Good answer, Kris.
The date is June 22nd at 10 o'clock. Wednesday night. I'm waiting for it already. Just before we end up here, a couple more questions. These are available if you want to buy one for your car. $10 each. Or you can make a donation to the green container here. Of course, this project, like any, costs money, and Kris and George need your support. And if, before leaving today, if you can give them some financial support, that would be greatly appreciated.